for the Tigers, and shots would go back to pass and hit Jared Rindell in the back of the end zone, completing the two-point conversion, giving the Tigers an 8-0 lead. They would go on to win this one. The final score 16-14. The key in this game, New England Regent stopped Roulette on a two-point conversion late in the game with less than a minute to go. So the Tigers hang on and they win their third straight 9-man title. The Class A title also played today. Velva Sawyer gets a win over Harvey, 28-8, the final score.
The first of 10 tall works of art that Gary Greff plans to build along the county road that runs through Gladstone, Leffer, and Regent.
We do look down to the future of developing Regent into the metal art capital of the world. We're looking at changing the storefronts to metal artwork, coming up with metal trees.
All of the sites along the Enchanted Highway are funded by donations and built by volunteers. The displays depict North Dakota themes and were designed to allow the state's farmers to express their artistic talents.
The farmers and ranchers are good at welding, and this is a way to express themselves and let it be known what talents they have.
After the farm family was built, Teddy Roosevelt went up, and now the world's largest pheasant family is nestled next to the roadway, drawing the attention of tourists.
I knew that this was the Enchanted Highway because my uncle from Richardson told me, and my friend had never been down this highway, so I came down here to show him the Tin family, but I knew there were some new pheasants and I hadn't seen them before. So they're pretty big, pretty impressive.
Greff has big plans for the rest of this roadway with goose, fish, and deer displays planned for the future.
One day, I guarantee you, we will gain national recognition when I get this whole highway done. I guarantee you that people will talk about the Enchanted Highway. They will want to view the Enchanted Highway, and we're looking forward to that.
For Myra Television News, I'm Cliff Naylor.
Hey, nice weekend coming up.
Stay with us. Mike has the forecast up next.
Talk football. No team in the history of 9-man football has won 3 straight championships. That was until today. The New England Regent Tigers beat Rolette Walford en route to not only an undefeated 12-0 season, but they have back-to-back-to-back state titles to their credit. Joe Carlgard has the story from the Fargo Dome.
New England Regent going for 3 9-man titles in a row today, taking on Rolette Wolford, and they start off huge. Opening drive, the Tigers go 86 yards, mostly through the air. Nathan Schatz up top to Brian Erickson for 21 yards. That set up Justin Young for the score. NER added 2 to make it 8-0 Tigers after 1. Second quarter, and the Comets trying to make things happen. David Danielson's pass for Dallas Havig is picked off at midfield by Levi Krebs. He'll be stopped at the 7, but New England Regent cannot convert. On 4th and goal, Schatz is stopped just shy of pay dirt. Tigers up 8-0 at the half. Let's move to quarter number 3. Rolette Wolford starts running a little option. Kevin Best has success calling his own number. 25 yards down to the Tiger 10. Later, it's Chet Yoder between the tackles for 6. The Comets add a 2-point PAT. Game tied at 8. Fourth quarter game still tied, and Rolette Wolford on the Tiger 9-yard line, but Best is picked off by shots in the end zone. He goes all the way to the Comet 42, and then it's the same guy. Nathan Schatz finds Erickson in the flat, 35 yards into the end zone, 14-8 New England Regent. They go for 2. It's Ethan Opdahl beating everyone to the corner, and the Tigers have an 8-point lead, which would be important because the Comets punch it in with 1:12 left in the game. Yoder, option pitch from 10 yards out. Rolette Wolford pulls to within 2. But on the 2-point conversion, the Comets go option the other way, and Yoder is stopped at the 1. New England Regent becomes the first team in history to win 3 9-man titles in a row with a 16-14 win over Rolette Wolford.
We had to really alter everything we did. You didn't dare run the same kind of series twice. It seemed like you had to go to a whole different series of plays, because if you didn't, they would stuff what you'd been getting you down there before.
Congrats to the Tigers. They go an undefeated 12-0 for the year. They win over.
Steady to 75 cents higher, lamb steady to $3 lower.
Minneapolis cash grain, spring wheat down 1 to 2, corn up 1, oats down 3 to up 1, and soybeans up 7.
Coming up in sports tonight, the Tigers are on the prowl again. Yankees in Cleveland is still going on?
It's still going on as we speak. It's a great game. The 5-game American League Divisional Series between the Yankees and the Indians became a 1-game series this evening. It's do or die time, bottom line. With the series knotted at 2 apiece, it's the 5th and deciding game. Let's check out the scoreboard. Right now, we got a barn burner. It's 4-3 in the top of the 8th in favor of the Indians. The big blow coming in this game in the 3rd inning. The Indians scored 3 times on Yankee starter Andy Pettit. Game 1 of this ALCS between New York and Cleveland, New York or Cleveland, is in Baltimore this coming Wednesday. High school football now, and winning a state title is special. Winning back-to-back titles is extra special. But how about back-to-back-to-back titles? Joe Carlgard has more on the New England Region Tigers, an undefeated team that may be on the way to an unprecedented 3rd consecutive championship.
At New England Region, they don't have goals for their football team. They have standards.
Well, our goal is always the same. It's to win the state. We have to set it there. They want to do as good as the team did last year. They don't want to be, it said that, you know, we let the thing down a little bit. So they're going to go out there and give it all they got. I got all the confidence in the world.
The Tigers have reason to be confident. Despite the loss of several starters from back-to-back state title squads in 95 and 96, New England Regent has all the bullets for a three-peat.
We know it's not going to be as easy for us as it was for those other teams. But so we can't get complacent. We got to come out every day and work harder than the other team. And the teams in the past probably, you know, they won because they were the more talented team, but we got to win because we're the harder working team and we want it more.
They expect us to win. We've got a pretty good program. I mean, I've only lost 1 game so far in my whole high school career. And the juniors this year haven't lost at all.
The work ethic is there, and when combined with a line averaging 200 pounds and some breakaway speed, the Tigers are again a difficult team to stop.
Ethan Updahl is one of the quickest guys in the state in the 110 hurdles. Nathan Schatz is 4.740. So we've got some outstanding speed. We've got some big guys.
If somebody catches me from behind, I'll be the first one to congratulate him, but I don't think it's going to happen.
This Tuesday night provides the Tigers with their stiffest test this season, a road contest against the Scranton Miners, who are out to avenge a 70-14 loss from 96.
Scranton's got a good team this year. They got a lot of hard hitters, and Reed Ruggles is a good back. He's nice and quick, and we got to step it up a little bit and take on the challenge.
With the Tigers of New England Regent for Meyer Television Sports, I'm Joe Carlgard.
Well, from 9-man football to AAA football, we have quite a few changes in the poll this week. Fargo South is now number 1. The Demons move up from 5 to number 2. Shanley drops to 3rd. The Midgets go to 5th. This coming Wednesday, Bismarck plays Century in a West Region showdown. Pro football now, and 2 of the best teams are paired in this evening's Monday night contest. The Denver Broncos are 5-0. New England Patriots are 4-0. They are the last of the NFL's undefeated.
Corn down 1.5, soybeans down 5.
Coming up in sports, a look at the New England Region Tigers, your defending 9-man football champs.
Can we use a rigid ladder-type frame?
Winding down.
It is winding down. Rip the knob off. This is basketball central. Mandan looks to stay perfect. District 12 in Dickinson. It's South Hart and Trinity meeting in the championship there. Loser out action. Hedinger moves on, as does Rame. District 13 in Hazen. First round action. Center wins, as does Beulah, and it's Hazen all over Killdeer, 72-23. District 14 in Garrison. This is semifinal play. White Shield and Newtown will play in the championship there. Loser out action. Turtle Lake Mercer packs their bags. District 10 in Linton. It's Linton, the 6th-ranked Linton Lady Lions. They win over Steele Dawson. Shiloh Christian picks up the 13-point win. Other first-round games, Wishick and Napoleon in the win column. District 9 in Jamestown, first-round action as well. Gackle Streeter, Wimbledon Courtney, Ellendale and Litchville, Marion Montpelier. District 8 in Carrington, Wing Tuttle Pettibone Robinson squeaks out a win. Midkota 30 better than Sheridan County. In overtime is Carrington winning over Harvey 57-51. Pingree Buchanan Kinsel has the number 1 seed in that District 8. They have a bye this evening. A streak, to run around naked in a public place, real popular in the 70s, or a streak, to put together a string of athletic victories. For the New England Region Tiger football team, it would be the latter of the two. Lee Timmerman has the details from Tiger Country.
For New England Regent, the players have changed, but the results have not. And the numbers are awesome. The Tigers have won 33 straight games, 50 straight in the regular season and 14 straight at home in the playoffs.
It seems like the tradition feeds on itself. One class, they're in competition with one another, like last year's seniors and this year's seniors. They said, hey, we're not going to let this thing fall apart. We're going to keep it going.
The playoffs have been our years here. The last 2 years we haven't lost a game in the playoffs, and we're just motivated and we want to go out and win.
The Tigers have won back-to-back state 9-man championships, and if they make it 3 in a row, the forward pass will have a lot to do with it.
I've always said passing's the most fun for me, you know. I mean, if you've got a good passing game, then your running game will go too. And I know people say just the opposite, but I feel that you have to be able to go out and pick up first downs consistently in the air.
The guy pulling the trigger for NER this season is senior Nate Schatz.
We got plenty of receivers. We got Ethan and Justin and Beep Erickson and Brent Nassett. They all got good hands and run their routes well, and they catch the ball if you get anywhere close to them. So that's all I have to do.
New England Regent's high-powered offense is usually the talk of this team, but the Tigers' defense should not be overlooked.
Our defense has never gotten a whole lot of credit, I guess, because the offense is kind of fun to watch and flamboyant. But I believe the defense, we do a good job of hit, wrap, drive.
They won't have to drive on Saturday. The Tigers host Turtle Lake Mercer in a quarterfinal matchup. For Meyer Television Sports, I'm Lee Timmerman.
Pro basketball now, and the NBA season tips off tomorrow night. The Minnesota Timberwolves host the Golden State Warriors. The T-Wolves come into this.
Two most dominant offensive players in AAA football took the field at the Community Bowl this afternoon. Grand Forks Central quarterback Brooks Bollinger and Bismarck High's Mike Bruner. Only one would come out a winner today in this quarterfinal playoff matchup. Bollinger will beat you in the air. He also does it on the ground. Option keeper to the 1. He'd go in later, 7-0 Knights after 1. The Demons close it to 7-6, then take the lead mid-second quarter. Weston Eckroth fakes the dive and takes it in himself. 12 yards, touchdown. Bismarck adds 2 to make it 14-7. More Demons closing seconds of the first half with the wind at his back. Eckroth goes up top to Mike Bruner for 15 yards, and the score as Bruner fights his way into the end zone. Bismarck High wins this one 42-14. The Demons move on. Who will they play? Let's head to Dakota Field for Century and Fargo South. Late in the first half, South adds to a 7-0 lead when quarterback John Roscoe hits Matt Veit from 3 yards out. 14-zip Bruins at the break. Third quarter, Century's defense comes up big. Jamie Breedenbach pops Roscoe and pops the ball loose, and the Pats recover. But on the very next series, Century's Anthony Gravseth fumbles the ball right back. Roscoe recovers. South moves on to semifinal play, 14-0. The Bruins will play Bismarck. The site is still undetermined. The lower half of the AAA bracket, pit West Region 2nd seed Dickinson against East number 4 Fargo North. Whitney Stadium is the place for the action. Dean Goodall's team led 7-0 when on 4th and 2. Jeff Thorson is picked off by Jason Moore at the 44. Watch what he does after that. The wide side is closed off, so Moore comes near side the entire length of the field for a touchdown. 13-zip Midgets. 21-6 now, fourth quarter, and Dickinson takes the spark out of the Spartans. The pitch to Moore, and this kid can flat out fly around the corner, 40 yards into the end zone for the touchdown. Dickinson wins it 27-6. Jason Moore scored all 4 touchdowns. A big upset here. Minot downs East Region number 1 seed West Fargo 28-22. It's the Midgets and the Magicians in the other semifinal. We'll stay in the Queen City for quarterfinal action at the AA level. Undefeated Dickinson Trinity hosting the Rugby Panthers. Let's check out some of the action. No score until Trinity got the win. Brad Jager drops back and lets this one ride the jet stream to a wide open Brock Nelson. The PAT made it 7-0 Titans. Next possession, 4th and 3. Jim Jackson takes the pitch, breaks a couple of arm tackles. Jackson is in the clear, 38 yards, and the touchdown. Trinity would not look back. They go on to win it 27-0. They will play Watford City, who won over Valley City in one semifinal. The other will pit Cavalier against Minot Ryan. Cavalier wins big, as does the Lions. Now, Killdeer suffered a 7-0 setback to Dickinson Trinity early in the season. Since that time, the Cowboys have rolled through opponents. Killdeer hosting Velva Sawyer in a Class A quarterfinal. It's scoreless after 1, but Wade Kittleson breaks the tie with a 10-yard scamper. 6-0 Velva at that point. Still in the second, it's Josh Stahlecker. He tries to force it to Justin Kittleson. It's a good idea because it gets there, and he scores from 30 yards out. 12-zip Aggies at the half. Third quarter, Wade Kittleson again. This time he calls his Kittleson goes in from 12 yards out. 18-0 Velva after 3. They go on to win it. 18-6 is the final. They will play Stanley in one semifinal. Stanley over Garrison Max, 28-0. Harvey and Hankinson will play in the other. Harvey a shutout winner, and Hankinson big over New Rockford Cheyenne. Let's head to the 9-man playoffs in New England Regent and Turtle Lake Mercer. Trailing 12-8 in the fourth, the Tigers fullback Jared Reindell powers his way to the 1. He would score 2 plays later to make it 14-12 New England Regent. Next possession, the Trojans force the punt. It's blocked by Mike Huselman. The loose ball is picked up by big number 76, Skip White. Takes it in to give Turtle Lake Mercer an 18-14 lead with 6 minutes left. 1:58 to play now, and it's Justin Young for the Tigers. His touchdowns, a game winner. New England Regent wins it 22-18 is the final. They will play Burke Central in one semifinal. Burke Central over Edgeley-Combe 31-22. Rowlett looking real good, big over Wyndmere Lidgerwood 52-6. They will play Sargent Central in the other semifinal. Sargent Central wins 14-6 over Mohall. The NDCAC championship came down to a one-game playoff held today in Jamestown, where the undefeated Jimmies hosted the once-beaten Dickinson State Bluehawks. Jamestown jumps out to the early lead first quarter, and they block the DSU punt. Anthony Perea scoops up the loose pigskin rambles 15 yards to pay dirt. Jimmies lead 12-0 after 1. The Hawks come alive in the second quarter. Quarterback Troy Gleave rolls, drills a touchdown strike to Ryan Betcher. DSU added another touch before the half and led 14-12 at the break. It stayed that way until the middle of the third. That's when Jamestown's Paul Stevens scores his second touchdown of the game. That's the game winner, 18-14 Jimmies at that point. They hold on to win it by the same score. Jamestown quarterback Chris Smith to Steve Olson that was another touchdown strike for the Jimmies, and Valley City in another NDCAC score downs UMary 24-2. Big scores from the NCC here. Number 7 UND hangs on by 1 over South Dakota, and Jake Morris becomes NDSU's all-time leading rusher. The Bison win 31-0 over St. Cloud. Most of the girls' Class B district girls back
tonight, but you know what? These teams don't care because they're playing each other in the state 9-man semifinals.
Dome is our home.
Regent has been 4 times in the past 2 years as they've won back-to-back state championships.
We really enjoy it. Something about when you're down on the floor, I notice this, how quiet it is down there. You know, it's loud upstairs, but boy, down there it's quiet and you can think.
While the title talk and winning streaks continue, what makes Shots extra proud of this team is it doesn't resemble 96 very much from a personnel standpoint.
We returned so few starters from last year. We had about 1.5 on offense and 3 on defense. You know, this is all new to them in a lot of ways. A lot of these guys have never started in a playoff second, third round game. They don't know the level of intensity that you're going to go up against.
But let's just say these Tigers are fast learners.
Nothing comes easy in the playoffs. No matter what anybody says, it's step higher, it's step harder.
The Turtle Lake Mercer victory was case in point.
This is the hardest hitting game we've been in all season.
We couldn't pass as well because of the wind. Like last week against Divide, Nate had almost 200 yards passing. I think it was 187. So today we had to run the ball a lot more, and we were successful.
Success for these guys is as simple as making sure they keep sports in perspective.
Every day we come to practice and we're like, we're going to work hard, but we have fun all the time. In practice, in games, bus rides, we go sing.
With the VCR.
We will review the film and go over and over and try to find some tendencies, try to find their strengths and weaknesses, and how we can exploit them.
The Tigers and Burke Central are scheduled to kick it off at about 1:30 Central Time on Saturday. Our Bismarck High preview will be on tomorrow's evening.
That information base. And so maybe there aren't a lot of people here, but there are people that are getting our message.
But exactly what message the majority of the student population is getting is not clear.
Because I can't see being called something like Jackrabbits or the Gophers or, you know, something along those lines, because it's like, who can respect that?
To the 11,000 people who are students here and aren't affected by the name as it is, I don't think that a change will affect them as greatly as not changing it will affect the 30 that don't like the name as it is.
In Grand Forks, I'm Neil Carlson reporting for Meyer Television News.
The Dakota Gasification Company is revamping a scrubber system at its Syn Fuels plant near Beulah. The scrubber was built to remove pollutants from the gasification process. The scrubber system will be shut down, modified, and then brought back by early December. The move comes after about a month there that the state health department cited the plant for pollution violations. State regulators described the violations then as possibly the most serious in the state's regulatory history.
A nationally known expert in environmental science who spoke at the annual meeting of Basin Electric says he strongly disagrees with so-called global warming. Dr. Patrick Michaels is a professor of environmental science and has studied climate change for nearly 20 years. He says since weather satellites began monitoring temperatures, there has been no global warming.
There is a statistically significant decline in the temperature as measured by the satellite since the satellite started in 1979. That's right. Our only true global measure of temperature actually shows a slight and significant decline.
Coal-fired power plants that emit CO2 are a target of those behind the Global Climate Treaty. The treaty would reduce CO2 emissions significantly by the year 2010. Michael says even if all nations agreed to it, it will still have only a 13/100th of 1 degree effect on global climates in the next 50 years.
Garth Brooks' concerts are not only bringing entertainment and excitement to his audiences, but the show also helps a different cause. At every stop on his world tour, Garth asks fans to bring non-perishable food items to his concerts. Thanks to last night's concert, the shelves at the local food bank are already filling up. Jody Kurzman reports.
21% of children under the age of 12 in North Dakota are either hungry or at risk of hunger. That's a statistic that country music superstar Garth Brooks and Feed the Children, a hunger relief organization, intend to lower.
We've been working together for 5 or 6 years now, and all my job is to ask people, if you're coming to the concerts over the next 4 nights, bring canned of green beans, macaroni and cheese, whatever, any unperishable goods or not.
The food that's collected in Bismarck will go to the Ruth Myers Hospitality House and Stone Soup Kitchen.
Now more than 100 people pass through this soup kitchen every day. And thanks to the generosity of Garth fans, they'll have plenty of food to get them through the winter.
People were very, very generous. In fact, the truck driver that travels with Feed the Children told us that what we picked up last night, which is all behind me right now, is more than what they gathered all night at Sioux Falls.
The greatest thing that I love about the program is the food that's collected here in the Bismarck area stays here in the Bismarck area. It gets distributed to your local food banks for your children here. So basically all you're doing is helping your own future, of your children by bringing food to the concerts.
Workers from the Ruth Meyer House and Feed the Children are collecting food outside the Civic Center before each concert. And even if you're not going to the concert, Garth still encourages you to make a donation and to help Feed the Children. For Meyer Television News, I'm Jody Kurzman.
Still ahead, we travel off the beaten path.
And we'll check out the mysteries surrounding Riverdale's mermaid.
A couple of weeks ago, reporter Cliff Naylor traveled to Garrison and brought back a whopper of a story. That one, Wally the Walleye.
Well, tonight, Cliff, takes his adventures through another tall tale. This time it's in the town of Riverdale.
Legend of Misty, the Lake Sakakawea mermaid, is as old as Garrison Dam.
When the construction of the dam took place, Misty happened to be on the upper side of the dam as it was closed, and her lover, boyfriend, was in the riverside. From that day forward, she has made a number of attempts to reunite herself with her boyfriend, and he with her. And as far as we know, it's never been successful.
Misty has been successful in bringing people into Riverdale to see her statue.
We have a lot of visitors. There's a lot of folks come here to take a look at this sculpture.
Misty's legend has now been put into print in the form of a coloring book.
It's been a pretty good seller. And it tells the story of Misty, and kids, I think, would really enjoy it.
Legend has it that on a clear moonlit night, people can sometimes see a glimmer of light from Misty's magic wand, reflecting off the waters of Lake Sakakawea as she continues her quest to be reunited with her merman, who still swims in the Missouri River downstream of Garrison Dam. For Meyer Television News, I'm Cliff Naylor.
Light snows in the forecast.
Don't go away. The forecast is next. So are we dreaming of a white Thanksgiving?
Oh, I'm not.
You're going on vacation somewhere else, aren't you?
No, we're not really going to see a lot of snow around here, but it is going to get a lot colder. We're going to take a look at our satellite radar composite this evening. We've got a still shot for you because I want to show you where the precipitation is right now. Not a lot of it, but here's the cold front along with the clouds, and we're picking up some pretty moderate snows in the mountains of Montana and some light precipitation on the North Dakota-Canadian border. We're expecting some light rains to begin to make their way into the northwest part of the state tonight and becoming mixed with snow by tomorrow. High temperatures around here today, well above average. 51 in Bismarck, 66 Minot, 61 Williston, 69 at Dickinson. By the way, that was just 3 degrees shy of a record set back in 1903 at 72 degrees. Here's today's temperatures, but as we head through the weekend, we're going to see a big change. Cold air will drop down out of Canada, and by next week, we're going to see highs in the teens and the 20s. So much colder air headed our way. The model's forecasting the snow heaviest in the mountains of Montana, stretching down through Wyoming and into Utah and Colorado. But around here, we're going to see mainly light accumulation amounts along the border of North and South Dakota. A little bit heavier as you head to the southwest. Look for about 1 to 2 inches out there. The reason why we're seeing the heavier snows out west, closer to the area of low pressure is where we're going to see the heaviest precipitation, and as it slides off to the southeast, it's going to take all the moisture with it. So most of the heavy snows will be, once again, confined to the mountainous areas. Eastern Montana, extreme southwest North Dakota, and northwest South Dakota could see, again, about 1 or 2 inches of the white stuff. But here comes that Canadian high that will bring much colder air in for next week. Tonight, we'll begin to see some of that light rain and light snow forming from the northwest. Look for overnight lows around 30 degrees with north winds 10 to 20 miles per hour as that cold front slides through. And then for tomorrow, look for light rain, maybe some light freezing rain early in the day, mixed with snow, and then changing over to snow by late in the day tomorrow. Highs in the 30s, falling throughout the afternoon. Northwest winds gusty 15 to 30 miles per hour. Much colder on your Saturday or Sunday, but the precip should come to an end. Look for partly sunny skies to be found in the northwest part of the state. North winds 10 to 20 and highs only in the upper 20s. Highs in the teens for Monday, but sunny skies. Look for a chance of snow again by the middle of next week. Stay with us. I have a look at your local weather coming up next. Not a lot of precip yet, but winds have shifted out of the north. It's 33 Bismarck, Mandan 40 in Dickinson with some clouds. North winds about 5 to 15 miles per hour. Humidity 92 and 75%. Barometers are on the rise. The highs the lows last night, 26 and 32. The average is low to mid-20s. The daytime highs today, 51 and 69, well above the average of 45. No precipitation today, but there is some in the forecast. We could see an increase in clouds with a chance for light rain or snow in the west tonight. Lows will be around 30, north winds 10 to 15. Tomorrow, light rain and snow mix, becoming all snow by tomorrow evening, and windy. North winds up to 30, highs tomorrow in the 30s. And then Sunday, partly to mostly cloudy, but cold with highs only in the 20s. So it looks like the deep freeze has opened.
Windy?
Yes, windy.
Wow.
Thank you, I think. Other news tonight, the 40th Annual State Student Congress took place at the Capitol this afternoon. Bob Hetler of the North Dakota High School Activities Association says it's a mock legislature debating resolutions and bills. This is the biggest turnout the Congress has had. Hetler feels the activity is growing because students want to improve their skills.
Many of these kids are athletic too, but they find out in this day and age you need to know communication skills. It's more and more, if you can't communicate, you can't succeed.
Hetler says kids also develop good library skills because they need to research topics before they present them.
A minor change in lifestyle could mean a significant change in controlling diabetes. That's a message which was presented today at a Professional Diabetes Symposium in Minot. It's being sponsored by the American Diabetes Association. Marion France is the Director of Professional Education and Nutrition for the International Diabetes Center in Minneapolis. She says patients diagnosed with type 2 diabetes can gain more control over the disease by making simple changes.
And so what we're learning today, as I said, is that, yes, small amounts of weight loss help, but there are other things people can do from the standpoint of lifestyle that can improve their blood glucose levels, even if they can't lose weight.
North Dakota has the highest reported incidence of diabetes per capita in the nation.
Small town in east central North Dakota has had a population of 1 for the past 3 years. The last person to live in Bladen, North Dakota moved away today. Reporter Christy Recamp takes us to Bladen for the final farewell.
Like the hardware store, you know.
I couldn't have killed myself that morning.
90-year-old Ed Tranby has spent a lot of time at his kitchen table talking to friends, but after today, he'll have to communicate with them over the phone or by mail.
We're going to miss him, that's for sure. He's been a great man in the community. And if anybody had any problems, it could be from need mechanic work to carpenter work or anything, he was there to fix it.
Tranby has been a fixture in Blaben, North Dakota. In fact, the only fixture, the sole resident of the town that once had a population of 150 in 1914. Tranby decided to leave Blaben to be closer to his son. He doesn't feel he will be able to make it through another winter by himself.
My health is bad, and it hasn't improved that much. That's why I got to get out.
Tranby moved into an apartment in Cooperstown, North Dakota today, but hopes to return to Blaben this summer.
He would like to come back to this area this summer, and because it's a Grand Central Station around here in the summertime, and his health is okay. He'd like to come back, but he knows his health isn't too good, and this might be his last day here.
Coming up in sports, the Titans tango with Watford City in the playoffs.
And welcome back to a Team Sports Friday night. I know for the Class A basketball teams that played this evening, if you win, you made the state tournament. But if you played in football and you won, you made the state title game.
And that's what it's all about. That's where we start on the football field. The Dickinson Trinity Titans took an undefeated record into the Class AA semifinals today. But the Titans' dream season came to a close. Watford City moves on to the title game instead. Let's go to the Fargo Dome for some of the highlights. Second quarter, Titans quarterback Brad Jaeger rambles 6 yards to pay dirt, but we had a 6-all tie at the half. In the third, the Titans go to the air. Jaeger fades back, finds Brock Nelson. The play goes 35 yards and gets the ball down to the 9-yard line, but the Wolves defense stops Trinity on 4th down. Watford City made it 13-6, but Trinity's Jaeger scored later, but the 2-point conversion for the win was no good. The Wolves win it over the Titans by the final count of 13-12. The Titans in the season at 10-1.
Watford City will play Minot Ryan for the championship. That's because Ryan had no problem with Cavalier today. Mark Olonia, their quarterback for the Lions, he had a big game, ran for a couple of touchdowns and started 3 other touchdown drives. Ryan won it easily by the final score of 35-6. So those two teams play for the AA championship. Meanwhile, the state AAA football semifinals are tomorrow afternoon. Bismarck High plays Fargo South at the Community Bowl. The Demons haven't had much luck against the Bruins in the all-time series department. South has dominated this series, winning 12 of 15, including the last 4 in a row.
Of course, we'd like to change that, and I think the matchup is good this year. They're a very good football team, but I think we're a better team this year than we were last year. We've got better balance.
The other AAA semifinal is Minot at Dickinson. Joe will have highlights of both games tomorrow.
It was semifinal night at the Class A West Regional Girls Basketball Tournament. A win and you're in the state tournament and in the region championship. Mandan plays Minot in the first game this evening. Let's go courtside for some of the highlights. And this one was all, well, Minot ties the game when Michelle Hempstead knocks down the 17-footer, but this one was all Mandan after that. Mary Perzo tickles the twine from 19-9. Mandan on top by 6 after 1. Perzo had 20. And the Braves were unstoppable in the second. They go on a 22-0 run. 3 of those when Wendy Davis hits that one. Wendy Davis had 23, and Mandan rolls 74-28.
Well, we know we're going to have to come out hard and play a good game to become WDA champs again, so it's just another game, except we have to play a little harder.
Century and St. Mary's played in a very close game throughout. In the second semifinal, Rachel Broer banks at home in the second quarter. Patriots led by 1 at the break. Krista Strand, well, she led all scorers with 22. Century had a 7-point lead at one point, but this game wasn't decided till the final half minute. Tied 49-all. Amber McLeod into the lane, and she floats it in to put the Saints up with 28 seconds left. Then 20 seconds later, Century goes top of the key. Susie Salick wins it with a 3-pointer, 8 seconds left. There's your final. Salick was very